Hello there, this is Miss Chalice speaking on behalf of the Art Department. To help discuss, obviously, Year 9 options evening and to go into a little bit more depth about what an art GCSE looks like, what the course content is, and obviously a little bit direction of where that can lead you after you've completed an art GCSE. So, a course overview. Students are required to develop knowledge, understanding and skills relevant to their chosen title. So this will be their projects. They're normally given a title to start them off. Through integrated, practical, critical and contextual study that encourages direct engagement with original works and practice. Students must learn through practical experience and demonstrate knowledge and understanding of sources that inform their creative intentions. Intentions should be realised through purposeful engagement with visual language, visual concepts, media, materials and the application of appropriate techniques and working methods. This bit here just basically says that students should be using a variety of different mediums, different materials, different techniques within and processes within an art avenue, taking inspiration from the artists that they'll obviously be investigating. Students may work in any medium or combination of media. They can work entirely in digital media or entirely non-digital media, or a mixture of both, provided the aims and assessments objectives are met. So again, this is a little bit versatile in the fact that most students will work in a sketchbook and produce work by hand. However, we are open to those rare students that would like to work digitally and produce more digital-based artwork. Students must develop and apply relevant subject-specific skills in order to use visual language to communicate personal ideas, meanings and responses. So essentially, students should be able to understand art terminology and use that when they are doing their written annotations in their sketchbook. Cross-curricular learning in art. So art actually is one of the subjects that actually has so many cross-curricular links with a variety, a multitude of subjects, such as media studies, physical education, literature, English language, geography, history, PHSE and citizenship, maths, music, economics, food technology, politics, religious education, drama, science, and modern foreign languages. As a subject, we dip our toes in every single one of these from the very beginning of their art journey in Year 7, but they will specialise more so in their GCSE into certain cross-curricular subjects, depending on the project title and their own personal journey that they take through their GCSE. Course structure and assessment. So in art, students will have two components to complete through. That consists of a coursework and practical examinations. So majority, most of their marks is from 100% coursework-based assessments. The practical exams are basically to produce the outcomes for their projects. It gives them that dedicated time to be able to work to produce the outcomes or their final outcomes in response to their starting points. The two components, so you have component 1 and component 2. Component 1 is normally divided into two sketchbooks. Component 2 is the examination project set by AQA. Each component is marked out of 96, but they're split into 4 categories of assessments. So those 4 categories are worth 24 marks each. So you have AO1 development, AO2 refinement and experimentation, AO3 observation and recording, AO4 is the personal response. So their GCSE art and design course would be a fine art GCSE. It's a 2-year course. It starts in September of the year 10 and it ends in May of year 11. So component 1 is worth 60% of the overall marks. So again, split between the two projects. So project 1 is what they will start in year 10. So the very first lesson that they'll have in art will be the beginning of their year 10 GCSE coursework. Everything that they produce from that lesson onwards will all count towards their marks. Normally this project will take a duration of 10 months to complete, and depending at the end of year 9, if we can fit it in, and if it's needed, if the students are quite well adapted to the processes of doing an art GCSE, we'll find that normally a 10-hour exam is not really necessary. However, some students do like to have that experience and practice, and we do offer 10-hour mock exams to sort of get them in the rhythm in preparation for their final one in year 11. So there is the possibility of a 10-hour practical mock exam. Project 2, which is still part of component 1, starts at the end of year 10 and sometimes at the beginning of year 11, dependent on how their first project goes. The duration of this project takes 4 to 5 months to complete, and they will sit a 10-hour practical mock exam in December. Component 2 is where 40% of their overall marks. This is the exam project, so the externally set exam by the exam board AQA. And their exam project will start in January of the year 11 term. The duration of this is 4 months, and they will sit a 10-hour practical exam in April. So they're normally guaranteed to do 2 practical exams. However, there may be one in year 10, depending if the time permits. Further education and career paths. So if you have a art GCSE, what can you do with it? So you have the option of going down the typical route of a college or a sixth form, for which you can take A-levels in fine art, graphic design, photography, media studies, and 2D computer aided design. Or if you want to focus solely in doing just a singular subject at college or sixth form, you can do a BTEC extended diploma. These you can do in art and design level 3 diplomas in illustration, 3D design, fashion, fine art, graphic design, photography and animation. And then you can go down the non-traditional routes of doing an apprenticeships, which are becoming more popular. And you can get apprenticeships in galleries and museums. Graphic designers, architecture businesses normally take apprenticeships. Art therapy, illustrators, and I've included the website apprenticeshipguide.co.uk because they offer some really great, if you go to the creative section, there'll be a list of different employees that will offer creative apprenticeships down the art career paths. What jobs can an art career lead to? So if this is something that you want to pursue and you know that you want a creative job in the future, the possibilities are endless, but these are the typical ones that you can actually go down. So you can be an architect, a fashion designer, a curator, web designer, graphic designer. You can be a stylist, media and advertisement. You can work in museum and galleries, art therapy, illustrator, teacher, theatre and film. You could be your own business man or woman, an auctioneer, a photographer, a conservator, an artist, or even going to engineering. These are all careers that you can go down from taking an art GCSE and following that route further through your education. If you do have any more questions in relation to studying art as a GCSE, please do not hesitate to get in touch with either myself, Miss Chalice, Miss Karins or Mr. Graham, and we'll be happy to help.